When I started setting up gyms 20 years ago, I watched CrossFit go from a garage gym type movement to basically taking over the whole industry. I'm starting to see a very similar trend today, and I wanted to talk about it. So let's get into it. So what started with 650 competitors back in 2017, it was absolutely exploded to 650,000 worldwide competitors now, has sold out cities with their events in under 40 minutes all throughout the world. And of course, what I'm talking about, you guessed it, is Hyrox. So let's talk about what Hyrox is. Hyrox is, to me, is a lower entry point to, say, a big CrossFit competition. It's a kilometer run with some burpees, push sleds, ski ergs. But what it does, it actually takes out the Olympic lifting of the CrossFit and the CrossFit events. I believe that it is already a giant trend in the fitness industry. And if you're a personal trainer or a gym and you're looking to add something that you could actually scale in the next few months or even this year, I believe this is it. So let's talk about this. Let's figure out what you could do to actually help yourself. And let's just talk about some of the facts. So over the last 20 years, what I've always noticed when you're setting up gyms is that when you have things that have low barrier entries, you bring your friends. So what that includes is that you actually just don't go, you gotta think about it. You could talk to your friend and say, hey, I'm gonna join a Hyrox competition. Why don't you join it with me? If you look at something like CrossFit, most people are gonna be like, nah, I'm good, thank you. I appreciate it, but no thanks. But something like Hyrox is something you could actually train for, and people just tend to follow because it is a lower barrier to entry. I'm not saying that it's not necessarily difficult or that these people are not athletic or they're not doing amazing things, but it is less than what CrossFit would be. The last 20 years of setting up gyms, what I always notice with things that have a low barrier to entry is that not only people are just gonna show up, they're also gonna bring their friends. And that's where I see the opportunity for a lot of personal trainers and gyms actually that could actually take advantage of this trend. I think offering things like mini camps to actually offer people like race prep, I think is gonna be big in the next few months. I'm starting to see trends like that from gyms that I would never think of that are starting to set up mini camps for Hyrox, which is absolutely amazing. You could actually structure all your training, or you could structure these classes or these mini camps around race days, which I think is actually a really cool thing because people could actually plan their race. They could go to you could get them in shape, you could get them ready for the race, and boom, they go and travel and go do their race. I think that's actually a really cool goal for people. And as a personal trainer, I think you should absolutely take advantage of that. It doesn't even have to be that difficult. There's a lot of Hyrox already pre-done training programs that are out there that as a personal trainer, you could take advantage of and you could actually set up. I think that that's going to be a big trend. And I think that if you're not using it to your advantage right now, I think it's silly. We're going into the slow months here for the fitness industry, at least in the East Coast, where people just get lazy because they already got their summer bodies or are close to getting their summer bodies. So anything you could do to retain people from coming back to the personal training facility of yours, or to motivate them to stay personally training and not fall off the bandwagon, I think it's a great idea. So if you're a personal trainer, make sure you take advantage of that. Another thing you could actually do is you could actually host your own kind of Hyrox style competitions. I read about a guy up in Canada that actually set up a few of these competitions, and for a few hours worth of work, he was able to generate between $2,000 and $4,000 every time he would do it. I think that's an easy way to not only A, attract new clients to your personal training studio, but B, also put a couple extra bucks in your pocket. So make sure you take advantage of those things. So as a personal trainer, you're actually selling sessions, right? What Hyrox allows you is it allows you to sell transformations with a finish line, which I think is always great. So now, if you're a commercial gym, this is actually a trend you should actually be closely following. There's already over 1,200 locations throughout the country that are Hyrox certified. Now, I'm not saying you necessarily have to go out there and get yourself Hyrox certified and get yourself started with, some sort of Hyrox association. Mind you, I am not affiliated with them whatsoever. I'm just talking about the trend. And as someone who's been setting up gyms for a long time, I want to keep people up to date and give you guys my perspective as to why you should be looking into things like Hyrox. But that being said, the cost of entry for a Hyrox facility, if you already have an existing gym or a Hyrox area in your gym, is very low. You're talking about medicine balls, ball targets, a strip of turf, you know, a ski erg. This is very, very, very cheap stuff in comparison to the stuff that goes into really high-end commercial gyms. You know, treadmills could cost you $5,000 or $6,000. You could actually probably get the whole thing done for around 10 grand and be state of the art. So keep that in mind. This is not just an opportunity for people who are, you know, working with clients one-on-one. This is actually an opportunity for anybody who owns a gym to get in on it. Another little bit of advice is don't overcomplicate it. Don't overblow budgets. Don't go crazy on this thing. What I would do is I would first start small, maybe starting with announcing some classes or setting up some sort of like training for small periods of time, opened up to a few people, and then see how you kind of go from there. Once you get a following and you start seeing what the actual interest is in your gym, then maybe start spending some money and start actually spending resources on setting up one of these Hyrox facilities. I don't think that anyone, and I'm not telling people how to run their business, should just go there and just go, you know, balls to the wall, dive their head in and see what comes out of it the other side just because they think it's going to be trending. These things can backfire because it really does depend on your customer base. Obviously, if you're running a facility that has a lot of older people, you know, silver hairs, you're not gonna be running Hyrox in places like this. So just keep that in mind, that your clientele is really important as to why and when you should actually do these camps. I've been setting up gyms for over 20 years, and I know that trends come and go, but I don't see Hyrox as a trend. I kind of see it more as a format. Things that are social, that are competitive, don't tend to fade away. So just think to yourself, do you want to be playing catch up in the future, 2 or 3 years from now, trying to get in on the trend, or do you want to get in on it now while people are starting to really catch on to it and more people are starting to hear about it and the buzz is growing? If I were you, I would probably start looking into this before you start playing catch up. If you're a gym owner and you're looking to get started, don't overcomplicate it. Like I said before, go to Hyrox 365. Again, I am not affiliated with Hyrox whatsoever. I just decided to talk about it because a couple of friends of mine were talking about it and I thought it was interesting that they are actually looking into doing it. So yeah, Hyrox 365 has all the resources you're gonna need. It has all the training programs. It has all the structure you're gonna need in order to start a program. And I think that if you're a personal trainer or if you're an athlete or even a gym, I think this is something you should actually start with. I don't know if there's costs associated with it. If there is, I think if it's whatever it costs, I think it's probably gonna be well worth it. You're gonna make your money back. So yeah, I mean, so don't forget, we are a gym equipment company. We sell, deliver, install, and consult gyms all throughout the country. If you're looking for a free consultation, please click on the link below. I would love to talk to you. If it's absolutely free, there's no purchase necessary when I say this. And as far as any of this Hyrox stuff, I am not an expert. I am not claiming to be one. All I'm saying is that I see a trend and I think it's gonna be bigger than CrossFit. So you gotta make sure you get into the bottom of this and actually grow with it, because I think you will miss out on a huge opportunity if you don't. And I felt like I should share with whatever audience I have here on YouTube. That being said, free gym assessment, don't forget, visit us if you're looking for any kind of gym equipment for your gym facility, for your home, at csmfitnessusa.com. And yeah, I'm Jose Hernandez and I'm out. Peace.